Okay, my first motorcycle was a GT 185. That's why there's one of them about the store. I always said to myself, I would really, really like another one. So it took me a while, and I finally got the wee one that's outside. So it was a labour of love to restore that one back to the condition that it's in. So I went from 185, went up to the 380s and the 550s and the GT 750s. Even had some of the I'm Trying to Kill You Kawasaki's. Didn't succeed, but they very nearly did a few times. And then I went on to the 4-strokes. I know I'll wash my mouth out later, but GSX 550 ES. Beautiful little 4-cylinder. So I always had the love for the 2-strokes. Surrounded by them when we were road racing. I'd done enough short circuit racing in Ireland to get my road license to go out and race on the road. Only ever done it once. Scared myself that silly that I said never again. So I was very fortunate, and I got to ride the Semi Works RG 500, and a friend of mine had a TZ 750. So I said to Robbie one day, we were down out for the open practice, how would you fancy a ride on the 750? Sure, 750, it's nothing much. Never again. You get onto this thing and it was running, and you take it for a ride around the track. So you get used to the feel of it. And I come down the back straight at the track and I opened it up. Well, I thought the world had stopped and suddenly going backwards. They were just unbelievable. So we went on 3 or 4 laps and we were coming back to pit straight, and he had the sign out, in this lap. So I pulled in, and he was red with anger. He was furious with me. And I says, what's wrong? He says, are you going to ride that thing, or are you going to tickle it? I says, I thought I was. And he says, no, you weren't. And if you oil my plugs up, I'm going to be charging you for a set of plugs. So I took the TZ out again. And I says, okay. 7,500, 8,000, 9,000. It was just an unbelievable experience. I scared myself with it. So I came back in, parked it in the pits, and thanks very much, I'm away for a beer. I was actually shaking when I got off this thing. You know, and I'd been used to performance motor, 750 road bikes and all the rest of it, but nothing prepared me for a TZ 750. So then on 85, Yamaha announced that they were bringing out their V4 2-stroke. And I said, a V4 2-stroke, that would be nice for the road. And not long after that, Suzuki decided they were going to bring out the Square 4, the RG 500. And I said, that would be even nicer. So I was fairly fortunate whenever they brought the RG out, that I got the first one in Ireland, first blue and white RG in Ireland. And I got it on the 2nd of August 1985. Now, it wasn't that big a thing, 2nd of August, how do I remember that? Well, that was a Friday. The Saturday was the 3rd of August. I got married on the 3rd. So the day before I was married, I got my dream bike, and my future wife actually went with me. And when we parted company that night, it was the last time I'd seen her getting off the RG until she was walking up the aisle the next day. So I have a very lucky relationship with my wife. She likes to know. Does she get told everything? No. So yeah, so as I said, I was a police officer in Northern Ireland for 22 years. Spent most of the time just outside Belfast. And 1999, I had my back broken for the second time in a bomb blast. So I said to myself, and it just happened to be on my son's 8th birthday. Sorry, his 6th birthday. So I said, enough's enough. So we moved here in 2000. Moved to Ferguson, but stayed in the area. But I always wanted another RG500. Took several years to find the one that I really liked. But this was before two-stroke madness set in, so it didn't cost me the earth. So we got it restored, and you can see the results of that. So we decided then that we would like the Yamaha to go with it. So we hunted a bit, and I didn't really get any here that I wanted. So I decided to have a contact in Japan to see if they could get me an RZV. The RZV is different because than the Canadian version, the RZ. It's all aluminum. So it weighs about 50 pounds less. So it's close to what the RG is in weight. But the Japanese versions are very restricted. The emulsion tubes and the carburetors and stuff like that are all different. So I spent the time and I de-restricted the RZV. Compared to the RG, I say the RZV is probably more sports tourer than an out-and-out sports bike. It's more comfortable. You can ride it for more than 20 minutes without getting back pains. And when you get to my age, you know, you have to be careful. So I was lucky enough to get that one sent over, and then the wee NS400R came shortly afterwards. But it's taken a while to get them into the condition that I do. I love them. I love the two-strokes. It's not the fact that they're easier worked at than the four-strokes. I think it's just something about them, between the sound and the smell and the sort of the basic intoxication of it all. I always like to help people with them. There's very few people now that have the experience with them. You know yourself that at times they do take a little bit of finesse to set them up properly, you know, but it's good fun. I would thoroughly recommend it. I do show them a lot, well, whenever we can show them. There's a couple of reasons. Obviously for my own satisfaction is one thing, but I think the biggest thing of the whole lot is people's reactions. They walk past them and they go, and then they stop, and then there's this little look appears on their face, their eyes, you know, and you know there's a story there. And that's the part of the interaction bit of that I really, really enjoy. You go over to them and you talk to them. Yes, they had one when they were 17, 18, and that doesn't make me feel very good whenever they're 17 and, you know, and the bike's the age that it is. But to hear people's stories about them, I think is one of the best parts of the show. And the pleasure it gives people to look at them. But the biggest part of shows is the interaction with previous owners and what it sort of a bike means to them. I had a previous owner one time come up and he seen the blue and white one. And he stopped, we got talking, and he actually started to tear up. And I'm going, okay. And then he started telling me about he had one and his friends and all the rest of it, and he lost a friend riding a bike when he was riding his RG and stuff like that. So that's the sort of thing bike shows are really good for, is the interaction between the public and stuff. 3 years ago was the last one before COVID. Freddie Spencer was there. A lot of you know Freddie used to ride for Honda. Yeah, and he's particularly rode the Rothmans. And he came up and saw the wee Rothmans NS, and nothing would do Freddie that he had to sign it. So there's part of it's got a Freddie signature on it. And then he went away. And a couple of wee while later, he came back with his wife. And we had a fantastic conversation for about 45 minutes with Freddie. Because of the connections that obviously we didn't know we had until the conversation. He knew a lot of the Irish road racing guys, as we were talking earlier about Joey Dunlop and stuff like that. Joey's name was mentioned, and I said, "You knew him?" Because Joey didn't do the Grand Prix circuits. And he named the sons, and then Robert and all the rest of it. We had a great conversation for, let's say, 45, 50 minutes. And it was good fun. Good fun. So, I would recommend people with the 2 strokes, but no, well, that's maybe wrong to put it that way. Try them. A lot of people don't know what they are, and you know yourself about just how much fun they can be, and how different they are to ride. What I do regret seeing most is the price that they've got. It's ridiculous. How a bike these days, that was $3,500 when they first came out, is making the money that they are now. And it's sort of keeping the ordinary person in. No, it's unfortunate that they've gone the way that they have. So, yeah. It's difficult to put into words. You've got a retirement package and 3 or 4 motorcycles in your shop. But I think I'll just keep them here because I like the look of them. Yeah, hi, my name's Robbie Wilson. I live in Fergus, Ontario, and I have some say an illness. It's called addiction to 2 strokes.